Trillions in fines? Why Russia is charging Google an unpayable amount. Imagine a fine of 2.5 decillion. Just to put it in perspective, that's 32 zeros after 2.5. This astronomical amount, which doesn't even exist in global financial reserves, is the sum that a Russian court has imposed on Google? But why such an absurd charge, and how did it reach this figure? The root of the fine. It all started in 2020 when YouTube blocked accounts of Russian media companies like TV Tsargrad and RIA Fan for commercial rule violations and sanctions. At the time, pro-Kremlin state channels were being restricted on various Western platforms. For the Russians, this decision was an act of political persecution, and they appealed to the Moscow Arbitration Court to restore the accounts. In 2021, the Russian court ordered YouTube to unblock the channels and imposed a fine on Google for each day of non-compliance. The kicker is that this fine, initially 100,000 rubles per day, doubled in value each week. With the channels still blocked today, the amount has become astronomical, especially after new blocks in 2022, when YouTube suspended other Russian channels like Sputnik, NTV, and Russia Today. Currently, the fine has reached the staggering level of decillions. An impossible fine to pay. Experts say this charge is more symbolic and political than a real attempt to collect the amount. For context, the global gross domestic product, GDP, in 2023 is around $110 trillion, a minuscule fraction of the decillions demanded by Russia. Since there isn't enough money in the world to cover this charge, analysts view the fine as a retaliatory gesture. Google and the possible consequences. In the current scenario, Google is pursuing bankruptcy for its Russian subsidiary, arguing that local assets are insufficient to cover the fine. The tech giant has ended operations in Russia and seeks legal protection in countries like the United States and the United Kingdom, preventing Russian courts from advancing legal actions against the company abroad. In response, Russian media companies have also filed lawsuits against Google in other nations, but the outcome is still uncertain. For many experts, the fine was more of a show for the Russians, aiming to weaken Google's presence in Russia. As absurd as it seems, this charge exposes a clash between governments and big tech companies, showing that digital diplomacy and politics play a crucial role in conflicts between nations and global corporations. Adventurers, every subscribe is a step forward in our quest. Join us by hitting that subscribe button and help us unravel more secrets of our amazing world. Your support is our greatest adventure. Thanks, and see you in the next exploration.